But if I can't get Starbucks on the weekends when I go out, I just don't see the point to working like a dog. Hey there, my handsome and pretty little Cobras, and welcome back to the Cobra's Nest. For those of you who are new, my name is Mignon Cobra and I make minimalism videos. Don't mind the little head in the corner, that's just Will, he's just gaming. So today's video is, I want to talk about things that I refuse to cut out of my budget. So if you guys have been following me for a while, you guys know that I did a low buy, or am doing a low buy for the next 6 months. So I got 5 things that I refuse to cut out of my budget. And when I say my budget, I also mean like Will's budget, because like we are a married couple. So all right, so let's talk into the first one. So the first one is Starbucks. So this one is actually a reoccurring theme. I have mentioned this in other videos. Among the things that I will not cut out of my budget is Starbucks. Like I will cut skincare, I will cut shopping clothes, like I will cut a bunch of things. But if I can't get Starbucks on the weekends when I go out, I just don't see the point to working like a dog. For me, I think Starbucks to me is like my happy place. It's like when I get myself like that latte, it just, the service at Starbucks is just so much better than it is at Timmy's. Like I'm not even gonna lie, like half of the pay I feel is like the service that you get at Starbucks. Like you do not get that at Timmy's. Like yeah, it's double the price, but that is just my own personal preference. I'm definitely not advocating for anybody else to get Starbucks. It is definitely an expensive hobby, expensive taste kind of thing. So yeah. Okay, coming in at number 2, so medicine. So sometimes when I get like really cheap, I start cutting from things that are like essential. So I have to like give myself a category or tell myself that like if it's related to health, that's fine, you can buy it. So an example of that, a very recent example of that, like 3 weeks ago, I got glasses. I was having difficulty at work, like seeing the computer, and I just thought my eyes were tired. I went to the doctor's, turns out I actually needed glasses. So I was like, oh my God. So yeah, so I ended up buying glasses. So originally the pair that I got was like the no-name brand one. And like they were cute and they look pretty similar to this pair. But like, I was like, these are gonna be on my face for like 7 hours a day for like the next couple years till I like switch out my frame. So I was like, am I really gonna be cheap? Those pair were like cheaper than this by like half, by half essentially. But I was like, you know what, when it comes to health, and this is, yeah, maybe a little bit of vanity, like would those have done the trick? Yeah, probably. But with these, I was like, it's in the realm of health, so we're gonna get glasses and we're gonna get some nice glasses. Like let's not cheap out on ourselves. So when it comes to health and that, I know it's kind of like still beauty, I was like, I'm not gonna cheap out on that. So I also got the better like package where it's like blue light on it. Like does it need to be blue light? Probably not, but I do edit a lot, I do work a lot. So I was like, throw in the blue light, throw in the like driving thing, like all of that like extra stuff. I added it on. Like did it make the glasses more expensive? Yeah, but I felt like it's health, so it's a yes. Okay, so coming in at number 3, so eating out. So this one is just like a personal preference of mine. I think that food is something that is essential and something that I feel comfortable in spending. Like Will and I feel comfortable in spending. For us, that is just like quality of life. So that is something that we do budget into our lifestyle. We do eat out on the weekends. We have brunch. For those of you who follow me on Instagram have seen that we do enjoy eating brunch. So I guess like that's not that terrible. It's not like we're like eating out both lunch and dinner and breakfast like all the time. It's like like on the weekends if we have free time, especially because like we're really busy working. So when we do have free time, that's something that we allocate money towards, and I feel like Will and I don't feel guilty about that. That's something the two of us are on the same page about. So I think that that's fine. I think that's really important to be on the same page as your spouse about certain spending habits. So it would be really taxing if one person is like, I don't want to spend the money on eating out, and the other person's like, no, like I want to eat out. So I think it's really important to be on the same page as your partner. So for us, that's something the two of us agreed is important. So we do allocate money towards that. Okay, coming in at number 4, so new tech. And I say this one because I did recently upgrade my tech. I upgraded my phone and I upgraded my iPad because I do use them for work, so that definitely helps. But for me, I think of it as like twofold. On the one hand, I think it's quality of life. I think it's important, especially because you interact with your tech all the time. And then 2, I also do think it's quality of life. Not that the tech I have right now isn't good. Like honestly, technology nowadays has gotten so advanced. Like you're good even with 6 GB, like 8 GB RAM, like you're fine. Like my own work phone is 12 GB. But my point being is that I think it's okay to, for me personally in my budget, something that I refuse to cut out of my budget is if I need the tech, like I'll spend the money. It is definitely a pretty penny, but for me that's important. And so I always make sure that if I need to pull the trigger on upgrading my tech, like it honestly, it's kind of like a cheap cop out to have it in this list because it's not like I upgrade my tech like every few months or even years for that matter. The last time I did a tech upgrade was in 2022, so it's been 3 years. But if I, for whatever reason, do need and when I do need to upgrade, that's not something that I ever think, oh, have I budgeted for that? Well, I'm really strict with my money, so I have money for that. And then coming in at number 5, health products. So something that Will and I think is really important is being healthy. When it comes to health, that's something we try not to cheap out on. So that includes like buying vitamins, vitamin that we need. And honestly, it really has paid off. Like before I started taking my vitamin intake seriously, I was really vitamin D deficient, and I was suffering from like the worst vertigo attacks, especially because like when I was in China, like Will had to take me to the hospital to get like pretty much fixed or do maneuvers. Actually, even here in Canada, I went to the clinic once, I want to say last year, and like she did the maneuver, and it was like it wasn't really fixing the issue because the salt crystals would like displace, and then we go to the doctor for them to put it back in, when it's like if I had just taken my vitamin D, I wouldn't even have the crystals forming in the first place. So because of that, yeah, I do think that if it's health related, if it's vitamins or anything like that, it's a yes, like it's part of the budget. That also kind of includes things that are a little bit more vain, but I'm not going to cheap out on my shampoo and I'm not going to cheap out on my conditioner, especially because like that's just like quality of life. Like I do think that taking care of one's hair is important. If you don't take care of your hair and it starts like snapping off because you're using, like cheap products, I don't think that's the way to go either. And obviously I'm not naming brands. That's not the point of this point. The point of this point is that for me personally, I will not cheap out on something that I use on the daily that is related to my own personal hygiene and my own personal health. So I hope that you guys could have enjoyed. Those are the 5 things that I refuse to cut out of my budget. And I hope that could have motivated you guys that it is about balance, it is about intention and not restriction. I will see my little Cobra babies in the next video. Thank you for watching. Bye.